You kicking ass, Vic, man.
Well, let him have it, man. Vic, man. Kids these days.
Kids these days. I told you I don't bet wrong on these guys.
Not even on the last track. This project is insane. It's insane. He said the realest shit. The realest.
Man, you're fucking amazing.
You are one of the most stylish, one of the most internationally adventurous, one of the most punk.
Vic is a very special talent. He could do everything, sing well, rap well. He even engineers himself sometimes. He's an incredible artist and like a once-in-a-lifetime artist. And I don't want to talk you guys to death. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce the man himself.
Ooh, don't want to talk about it. Ooh, like I don't know nobody. Like I don't know nobody. I guess I don't. Oh, you mad, huh? Oh, you mad, huh?
Who are you?
I'm Vic Mensa from Chicago. Save money.
You might recognize Vic Mensa as the witty, energetic, and eclectic rapper from Chicago, but more than likely it's been his public feuds and fallouts that have garnered your attention. And yet neither side tells the full story when it comes to the brash artist. With his sharp pen and global perspective, he quickly became a standout amongst his peers in the burgeoning Chicago rap scene at the height of the blog era. He made a name for himself alongside fellow member of the Save Money Collective, Chance the Rapper, and other well-known acts such as Saba, Mick Jenkins, and No Name. Widely known for hitting the strangers of pockets.
Going out of my head a bit, told me come back down to earth. Swerve lanes in a minivan pack full of grade school kids and a pound of herb. Urban.
His zeal for multi-syllable rhyme schemes and his penchant for his stream of consciousness bars.
I'm type O, anyone can get it if you're with it. Will with the pipe dreams. They say the internet got the internet tweaking. Your tweet comment is deleted. I see your weakness, Achilles heel of your feet is orthopedic. I'm bulimic, I can't stomach your image, I make you eat it.
People had him on the radar of many of rap's titans, such as Jay-Z and Kanye.
Yeah, your Hove getting into it over me, trying to do a joint venture.
What did I do so well that cats of this ilk, Kanye, Hove, and more, really mess with me? Like that, not everyone gets that. That's rarefied air.
Rap. Yeah, I rapped well.
You just rapped, you rapped really well.
I got game with me. That means Jay with me, Say with me, Just Blaze with me, Save Money, got Kanye with me.
Signing to the former after the release of his full-length project, Innanetape.
To bury the bullshit niggas be signing, to be honest, yo, I told no ID that shit whack. Wasn't even trying to be arrogant, bear in comparison to us, I mean, it's kinda just fact.
One of hip-hop's many fallen darlings, his career has since stagnated, stifled by clashes against popular artists.
I diss Yachty, diss Act, diss Triple X, it was disrespect.
And mainstream opinions that, as he puts it,
It made the fans disinvest. I lost M's like a Dow Jones regression.
his journey speaks not just of talent and turbulence, but of redemption, manhood, and resurrection.
Me feel grateful to be able to get to a place where I can recognize that my words hold weight, you know, and to use them wisely.
Vic first laid his name to a track on the Straight Up mixtape.
Higher level of thought, I let the mind work at its own rate, the long way to show the true feelings to the heart.
Even early on, the talent was apparent. The teen used excerpts of Malcolm X speeches, poems from Saul Williams, and deeply conscious lyrics reflecting the black experience.
40 ounces keep me drowning in the cane cobra. I'm paranoid, keep on staring over the same shoulder, same soldier. I guess I never strayed too far. I mean, I never lost my way.
His work spoke to a similar vein we see in much of Chicago hip-hop, from Lupe Fiasco and Common to even Kanye West. But unlike many of his predecessors, Mensa's upbringing positioned him between disparate worlds.
Before 11, I didn't feel very racial at all. It didn't all the way occur to me. I mean, there were definitely times when I wished I could either be black or be white.
Vic's identity was a question he had to answer at every turn. African heritage and American assimilation, blackness and whiteness, fitting in and rebellion, made him difficult to pin down both in lifestyle and music.
I just had to come to a place of understanding that my mission and my purpose, my message is larger than that.
From conscious hip-hop
told me call 911, but who do you call when the ambulances don't come?
to pop punk,
So much fun, you lose count of the days, playing hard and go seek inside of your...
he embraced genre fluidity as a necessity rather than aesthetic choice. Yet such a role can be isolating. The search for belonging manifested in his music, but also in self-destructive habits.
11 years old, you started smoking and drinking, and so what was going on from 1 to 11?
A common theme amongst black youth navigating identity crisis in a world that tells them to assimilate or be ostracized.
One of the main themes in my album is mental health and drug addiction, and that's something that's very stigmatized in the black community.
Walter Rodney in How Europe Underdeveloped Africa notes how colonialism fractured the identities of African descendants, forcing them to juggle multiple, often conflicting, cultural expectations. Mensa's journey echoes this, oscillating between his father's Ghanaian roots and his American reality.
A window in my reality, two-parent household from an immigrant family, middle-class salaries on 47th Street by the Stones, where they move right out the house, same block as Obama's home.
Just kind of in the middle of it all. You know, my family is together. I have a father, you know, but I live across the street from Section 8 housing where it's selling drugs all through the night. And so I was just able to see both sides of things. And
he found solace not in heritage, but in the chaos of Chicago's South Side.
Shit is like apartheid. If you seen the South Side, no upward mobility. They got niggas paralyzed.
Citing the disconnect in seeing himself and his parents and the lack of belonging to a single culture.
I was there with my parents and wonder why my parents was different. Used to wish I was white with fantasize.
He regarded this as a source of self-hatred and confusion, even at an early age.
I saw my mother's blonde hair from the perspective of myself, what I feel like was about like 5 years old.
For this to my auntie Elizabeth. Lost her life last month of skin cancer after a long battle with skin bleaching. I pour this to ask that she and
my auntie, I send these words in Ashanti. I want you to know that your culture is where your power lies.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine me?
And at the same time, growing up in Chicago, a metropolitan city in the Midwest, between the extremes of its greater sister cities in New York and Los Angeles, reflected that uncertainty.
I used to want to have blue eyes. That is the root of my pain.
It wasn't much longer into his youth that the city would define the edges of his reality for him, after a run-in with the police solidified his understanding of blackness, despite his mixed-race background.
Did a police report and all types of, and it kind of really made me feel like a criminal. And I think that a lot of times those types of experiences can be very impactful to a young kid and kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, you know, when they say, okay, you're a bad kid.
The sense of belonging he found in this community allowed him to navigate Chicago's underworld with confidence.
I'm from where the moles push rocks like the tomb of Jesus to put new 22s on their coupe, selling D, ducking 12, undercovers looking for
and I had my times when I wasn't just observing and I'm, you know, really in the middle of it. But I had options, you know, but where I come from, a lot of people have no options. And, you know, that's a lot of time what puts them in the position that they're in.
Where there was this growing wedge in the life inside the home and the environment he'd be forced to navigate for survival. This split identity echoed in his earlier music, filled with an air of detachment and internal conflict.
When I get down on my luck, I hide behind my eyes in Hollywood. The saying what you know, but who you know, you need to know someone to know no one.
It's what made his work so relatable as well, never leaning too far into a single lane, but melding his experiences into an escape from whatever man-made lines were drawn up by circumstance.
Hip-hop is expected to remain stagnant.
The early projects that made him famous were reflections of this internal conflict, masks that allowed him to shone as a frontman for the 8-member band Kids These Days.
Love you. Oh, darling, I still love you.
Making waves and culminating in late-night TV performances and a record deal.
Their debut project, Trap House Rock, which will be released this fall. Let's give a big hometown welcome to Kids These Days.
The group was an early testament to his artistry and variety in composition, mixing hip-hop with funk, jazz, rock, and a medley of other sounds. The breakup of the band was also a devastating blow to a moment where he had finally found a home.
When did you break apart from the band?
I don't know, like when I figured out it's time to go crazy and turn up, you know, and I'm done compromising.
Was really just reflecting all the hurt that I was feeling from the band's rejection. When Kids These Days split, that shit felt like a C-section.
Forced now to embark on his solo career, he turned inward to reflect on the experiences and lost opportunity in the band's dissolution. What he gave us next was considered his best work in most circles, and amongst the best mixtapes to come out of Chicago at the time, rivaling his frequent collaborator and competitor, Chancellor Bennett's acid rap. Innanetape, like much of his life, was an escape from status quo, if only for the duration of the track listing. The project was not just an introduction to Mensa's style, it was a love letter to a freedom he wished were permanent. Whether in the frenzied Hollywood LA, where he imagines his life as a star, or in Orange Soda, where he continues to persevere despite being overlooked.
They made a list about Chicago rappers and they scared me. Maybe because I'm much more. Forget what you're not, this is about what you are.
The album is a roller coaster of highs and lows as he makes room to lament his fallen comrades.
He's wrote this song inside my notebook, told this Tucci, think of Tony. He was only 20, took one in the tummy, caught a bullet to the backbone by the hand of his own homie. Holy Jesus, holy, holy.
And the ills of his surrounding and the facade of fame. It's a daydream of an album, where he's manifesting a life for himself outside of wants and needs, fear and self-loathing.
Never let anyone tell you anything you can't be. My biggest win always been when I knew they didn't believe. Where would I be if not standing on the stage?
His playful croons of "Do you believe in magic?" as if to say not only does he believe, but there's no doubt that he will conjure dreams into reality.
Believe in magic. Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in magic?
He sings to himself his mother's comforts as self-assurance of his belonging.
Why is it what seems important seems always to be misleading? I wish I could see the future, just wish I could see the future. Tell me everything be okay, just like my mama used to. My youth unfolding before me, be 20 before I know it. I'm trying to write my Innanetape, get TVs, this panoramic.
His loyal Chicago fan base was not the only one paying attention to the up-and-coming star from the City of Wind, with a co-sign from Jay-Z, a gold-selling feature with Kanye West, and a performance at the SNL's 40th anniversary celebration.
Don't fly too high, your wings might melt. You're much too good to be true. I'm just bad for you.
The stars had finally aligned, and Mensa's rise seemed inevitable, until it wasn't.
What the fuck do we need a Vic Mensa? I know this Vic Mensa thing just happened. Vic Mensa's fucking. Vic Mensa, what the fuck? Vic Mensa?
Got a lot of dirt up on my name. I might have had a rap beef with the whole game. I'm spraying everything, I don't really need to aim.
Mensa has always been self-evaluating. Tracks like There's a Lot Going On, Empathy, Shades of Blue showcase an artist not just making music but conducting a forensic examination of his own soul.
Now here I am talking about a revolution, and I can't even spare a dollar to the movement, but I'm in this club spending dollars on the movement. I guess we all got room for improvement.
Honest to a fault, his most powerful lyrics are often self-effacing.
Honest, I have to be vulnerable, I have to be autobiographical, because a lot of people have no voice and are afraid to be.
His ability to dissect his own contradictions makes his social critique very piercing. Among the few artists who speak about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict before it was trendy.
Yeah, man, you know, I went there, and the moment that I went there and started posting things, immediately, you know, people were hitting me like, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do that.
His nuanced reflections on second-class citizenship abroad and his systemic oppression at home set him apart.
And you have a rich, powerful, mainly white state that's stepping all over poor brown people.
We could be free if we only knew we were slaves to the pains of each other.
Although he often considers the no man's land of being mixed race a curse, it's afforded him the gift to not only see the differences, but unity in the human condition. Realizing you don't belong anywhere is the first step to understanding you've belonged everywhere all along.
Starline Festival is to connect Black people of the globe, to focus on our similarities and our connections, and also our differences and how beautiful they are, and how necessary it is for us to be unified, you know what I mean?
His maturity extends beyond the blameless therapizing of the root of his hypocrisy. What he found was someone carrying a pain worth begrudging those around him, an inflated sense of self that made it difficult to be empathetic.
House the way we raised, Shakespeare couldn't create the stage. $1 million down the drain, and I couldn't wash away this pain.
Having thus fallen out of the limelight and general favor of the hip-hop community, there was nowhere to turn but inward for the troubled artist, right back to the beginning of his career.
Pac said I'm young and I'm hopeless. Came into 2020 hungry and broke. It's a must that I'm focused. Went from need no jury, I've been on trial for my tribulations. I didn't file chapter 11 when bankrupt shit was was hard, I let it drive me, now I'm back up. Suburban homes, chauffeurs, and black trucks. You voulez-vous coucher, you sweet like shea butter, tout avec moi. Sweet like Alamoda, creme brulee, you sweet like Haagen-Dazs. Sweet like Baby Bash or Frankie J, sugar that's way too fly. Judging by the way your mama look, I bet you stayed as fine. The way your DNA designed.
Made clear by the shedding of his rebel for every cause persona and signaling a commitment to growth rather than performative radicalism.
I just try to move with respect and like respect the culture of a place where I'm a guest and I also don't know everything.
An artist that has been the subject of much controversy to the detriment of his career, but the elevation of his character, Vic Mensa is a prime example of someone who's developed in spite of the scrutiny and just as often because of it.
I realized in that moment, so many of our young artists and hip hop specifically don't get the chance to realize the real impact of their words.
Identity clash, who am I? If I could speak to a younger me, I would rewrite my history and tell me that you're beautiful cause you alive.
One of the most positive but also provocative brothers putting on for the city and for the culture, man. So
becoming a beacon of self-reflection in an art form where it feels the only reflection that's valued in its mainstream form is from Trinkets.
Made some millions, lost some millions. Been the hero, been the villain. Diamonds up, it's like familiar. Real recognize real, y'all not familiar.
Focused, serious, and with a newfound vigor, he's utilizing his multifaceted experience as a man from many worlds to not bridge the gap between ours.
Born alone, die alone, and still save money. I take that to the grave with me, the game's funny. A nigga went from robbing in the hood to the Robin Hood of Inglewood.
Launching his Black Star Line Festival to connect Africa to its diaspora and unite once disparate people.
Viewing ourselves through our oppressor's eyes. I wrote this verse for my auntie. I send these words in Ashanti. I want you to know that your culture is where your power lies.
In a world that wants to strip us to our bare component in order to resign us to docility, we should remember we are more than the material that makes us, but rather spirits to be freed.
I found faith when I lost hope. That's when Julius reminded me of a bar I wrote. Behind bars on the yard where they dream of the street. On death row singing we could be free. We could be free.
Mensa's story is one that should provide hope to anyone dealing with the daily dissonances between reality and perception. And that behind the facade of self is a reflection of us all. You just have to be willing to chip away at the mirror.
Make a better today, not tomorrow. I pick you up when you're trying and I hold you down. I'll be your son and provider and your protector. I'll be the one that you follow when you feel down.
Illallah. Wa. Ashhadu. Anna. Muhammad. Abduhu. Wa. Rasuluhu.
We'll fly away. Fly away. 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 We'll fly away. We'll fly away.
Now is the essence of my domain, and it contains all that was and will be. And I am as I was and will be, because I am and always will be that nigga. I am that nigga. I am that nigga.
It's so good.